Hi there. I and my friend Joe English are sending our regards. And today we would like to do some ACT English section test questions together. So without further ado, let's share the PDF. Um, the passage that we're going to do today is entitled Climbing Mount Windmill. All right. The first question, 31, they are some 45,000 electricity generating wind turbines in the US. Of course, we don't say they are. That's pretty easy. We say there are. Okay, so B is the best answer here. Moving on to 32, these huge machines, okay, let's read a little bit further back. And the task of repairing and maintaining these huge machines have represented. So he's talking about the task. The task is a singular subject, and so we should choose a singular verb, like verb with S, singular S at the present tense, for example. So if we look at the distractors here, no change would be wrong. Are representing wrong, represents. That's the only one that goes with the singular subject, the task. So H is the best answer. If we read the task of repairing and maintaining blah, 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 represents a substantial undertaking. The task represents. So that's subject verb agreement. So H is the best answer. Then he says letters inside the towers simplify access. Then he says, in contrast, servicing the turbine blades, those blah, 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 is a serious challenge. So in contrast, no change is the best answer here because he is comparing the task of servicing the turbine blades to the towers, the ladders in the towers that simplify access. So simplifying access to the generators, that's one thing. But in contrast, servicing the blades is a challenge. So no change. A in 33 is the best answer. Okay, so he's talking about the turbine blades. He wants to explain what these turbine blades are. So he says, those long fiberglass vanes that slice through the air. So should we use dashes, okay? Or should we use a dash and a comma or just a comma? So the best answer here, if we read, is using dashes before and after. He didn't use a comma before and after. We could use a comma before and after the whole sentence that explains what these blades are. So it could be like a parenthetical. But here, the best choice is G because he uses dashes before and after that description of the blades, those long fiberglass veins that slice through the air. So this is to show their importance, or this is like a clarification or an explanation of what these turbine blades are. So the best answer is G. Now moving on to 35, if we read it from the beginning. Uh, all right. Rock climbers are comfortable in high places and capable, equipped with rope and other simple gear of scaling almost anything. Yeah, scaling almost anything that is, they could climb up or so on. So the meaning is okay, but if we look at the other choices, climbing nearly anything, something they are able to do, that is pretty yeah, the same, but we don't need something they are able to do. Ascending just about anything by climbing it. Ascending and climbing are the same thing, so there's no need for repetition. Using rope to climb almost anything. So the best answer and the shortest one is A, no change, scaling almost anything. We don't need to say ascending and climbing or climbing and then they are able to do something they are able to do because climbing nearly anything, meaning they are able to climb. So the best answer is A, because it is the shortest and it makes sense. How about 36? If we read 36, after completing specialized training, rock climbers become ideal rope technicians. So it sounds okay. All right. Let's read the others. So no change would be a good answer. If we look at the other distractors, old skills and new knowledge turn rock climbers into ideal rope technicians. There's no need for all this. New careers as rope technicians open up for rock climbers. No. Okay. Ideal rope technicians can be made out of rock climbers. So the best choice here is F. Rock climbers become ideal rope technicians after completing specialized training. So F is the best answer. Remember, you have to read through the other distractors, and if the no change is makes sense, then and it's better than the other distractors, like it's shorter, it's to the point, and so on, then we would choose it. So we should seriously consider the no change choice as a good answer if it makes sense, and but also after we read the other distractors to make sure that it is the best choice for that question. Moving on to 37, if we read 37, um, when the rope technicians arrive across a turbine, they first log blah, blah, blah. We don't say arrive across. It's just a collocation question here, like what words go with what words. Like here, arrive, it takes the preposition at, arrive at. We don't say arrive with a turbine or arrive across a turbine. He wants to say he reached or they reach the turbine and then they make whatever they make servicing or whatever. So we say arrive at. Okay, so D is the best choice. Okay, D is the best choice here. Now moving on to 38. Okay, 38. Let's read the entire sentence from the beginning. Sometimes the task can be more complicated. Batching fiberglass damage from a lightning strike, for example. The largest wind turbine blades are over 270 feet long. Okay, the largest wind turbine blades are over 270 feet long. Technicians work in pairs while they don't climb in high winds. Okay, so given that all the choices are true, which one would provide the most effective introduction to the paragraph? So we have another paragraph here. Would we say the largest wind turbine blades are blah, 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 no change, or the number of wind turbine related jobs has doubled, or a typical wind turbine has about 8,000 parts, or whatever the job, safety is the first priority. If we read through the paragraph quickly, he would say, while they don't climb in high winds, extreme temperatures, or precipitation. He's talking about conditions where the technicians cannot climb to fix the wind turbines blades. Okay, whether there's lightning within 30 miles, the technicians stay on the ground. Precautions such as these along. So he is talking about safety measures. Mainly, he's talking about safety measures in the paragraph. So the best sentence or statement to start the paragraph as an introduction to that paragraph would be J. Whatever the job, safety is the first priority. If we use that at the beginning, and then he talks about conditions where technicians cannot climb or things they should take into consideration while they are repairing, it would make lots of sense. Got it? Good. So Jay, would be the best answer for question 38. Now moving on to 39, and if we read from the beginning, okay, technicians work in pairs, semicolon, while they don't climb in high winds. Should we say that, or should we say bears, comma, and they don't climb in high winds? So in other words, technicians work in bears, that is a sentence. Then we use a comma as in B, and then and one of the fanboys, and we continue the other sentence, they don't climb in high winds. So I think this would be the best answer. B would be the best answer. Because anyways, we don't use semicolon if we use while, okay? Yes, all right. And it doesn't make sense if we say while they don't climb in high winds, they work in bears. It doesn't make sense. So the best choice is B. We say technicians work in bears, comma, and another sentence, they don't climb in high winds. So as you know, if we have two ICs, independent clause, another independent clause, we can join them with comma and one of the fanboys, like and, or, but, nor, and so on. So as we said, B would be the best answer to 39. Moving on to 40, if we read from the beginning, yeah, all right, extreme temperatures or precipitation. Whether there is lightning within 30 miles, the technicians stay on the ground. What is the best choice? No change, no change, so that unless if there is lightning within 30 miles, the technicians stay on the ground as a safety precaution. So using F would make the meaning right. If we use unless, that is not the case. If unless there is lightning, meaning they do not climb if there isn't lightning, which means if there's lightning, they climb up to repair the turbine, which doesn't make any sense. So J is the best answer. If there is lightning, they stay on the ground. They don't go up to uh, repair or look at the turbine and service the turbine blades, because this is the best choice as a safety measure. So the best answer is J. All right, so let's move on to 41. 41, yeah. Precautions such as these, dash, along with rigorous procedures and training, comma, make the job quite safe. So the best choice here is to use a comma after these to explain what are rigorous procedures and other rigorous procedures and training. So if we choose C, the sentence will read, precautions such as these, comma, along with rigorous procedures and training, comma, make the job quite safe, which means we have precautions such as these, okay? Then a parenthetical that could be deleted, make the job quite safe. Precautions such as these make the job quite safe. Okay, such as these, we can also add a parenthetical saying along with rigorous procedures, strict procedures and training. So all these things can make the job safe. So the best choice is C, because we need a comma before, along with, and after training. Okay, that's the best place to put these two commas. So C achieves that purpose. C is the best answer for 41. If we move to 42 from the beginning, read from the beginning. All right, along with rigorous procedures and training make the job quite safe. So in other words, he's asking about the verb make. Let's look at the subject. What is the subject for that verb? If we read from the beginning of the sentence, it would say, precautions make the job quite safe. So precautions is a plural subject, then we should choose make as a plural verb. We don't use makes, for example. So J is wrong. Has made is wrong because it doesn't go with the plural subject. Is making, no. Okay, also wrong because it's singular. G and H and J is singular verb, so it doesn't make sense. So F also is the best answer. So F, no change, is the best answer. Remember, if we use the present simple, it denotes either a fact or a habit. So he is talking about a fact here. If these technicians and workers follow the safety procedures strictly, then the job becomes very safe. So precautions make the job safe. That's a fact if precautions are taken. So the best choice is if, as we said, because make is a plural verb that goes with the plural subject precautions. Let's move on to 43. 43 here is, okay, fresh air, comma, great vistas, comma, to practice climbing daily, comma, and ample time off to scale actual rocks. It is not a typical job description, is it? Okay, so the underlined part is to practice climbing daily. Okay, is it a no change? Let's see. Great vistas, fresh air, and then after the underlined part, he says ample time off to scale. So fresh air, ample time, great vistas, all these are nouns. So we should choose something that go with these nouns, either a noun or a gerund. Okay, so they practice would be wrong while often practicing climbing. There's no need for while or anything like that. So D, plenty of climbing practice would go with the rest of the sentence because it's a noun. So fresh air, noun, great vistas, noun, plenty of, noun, and ample time, noun, blah, blah, blah. So this is parallelism, you know. If we have a noun, then another noun, separated by a comma or and or something like that. If we use a verb, then we use another verb and so on. So it's a question about parallelism. The best answer would be D, plenty of climbing. Okay, let's move on to 44. Uh, okay. The writer wants, if we have a prompt for the question, we should read the prompt carefully because sometimes he's asking which answer is not acceptable, not the best answer. What or which answer is not acceptable? So you should read the prompt first and carefully before you look at the answers. So let's read the prompt for 44. The writer wants to end this sentence by emphasizing that rock climbers in particular may find being a rope technician an appealing occupation. May find being a rope technician an appealing occupation. Which choice best accomplishes that goal? So the underlined part is it's not a typical job description, is it? For many rock climbers, it's not a typical job description, is it? Okay, so let's look at the other distractors. What inspires rock climbers to reach such heights? Or what more could a climber want or ready to sign up yet? Okay, so let's read one more time. Rock climbers from the beginning, being a rope technician is a dream job. For many rock climbers, being a rope technician is a dream job. What more could a climber want? So this would go with the initial uh, sentence of the paragraph. For many rock climbers, being a rope technician is a dream job. Since it's a dream job, so if we say here, what more could a climber want? So that goes with the initial sentence in the paragraph, so H. For questions like that, to decide the best statement or the best sentence to be used, you need to read a little bit before that, like from the beginning of the paragraph, carefully to find the best answer. Because this could take a little bit of time, so people are advised to leave such questions to the end of the test. If we don't have time by the end of the test, use process of elimination, like find the wrong answers and exclude them, then maybe you are left with only two choices. If you don't have time to consider and read the choices and read from the beginning of the paragraph, then make a choice between them, and your choice may be correct. But you should not leave any question unanswered. If we look at the last question for this passage 45, the writer wants to add the following sentence to the essay. Enter rock climbers. Enter rock climbers. Um, the sentence would most logically be placed at point A or B or C or D, that is in paragraph 2 or 4 or 5 or 6. That's typical of a question that would normally take a little bit of time because you need to go to each point in each of the mentioned paragraphs to read and decide if it goes here or not. So enter rock climbers. So let's look at point A in paragraph 2. Point A in paragraph 2. So this is paragraph 2 and this is A. Enter rock climbers. Uh, Rock climbers are comfortable in high places and capable, equipped with rope and other simple gear of scaling almost anything. I think this would be the uh, best place to put such a sentence. Okay, so A would be the best answer. If you have time to read the other choices, you can do it as well. But if you are very sure that this is the best place for it because it's very logical, then and you don't have time, then go for it. So A would be the best answer for question 45. Thank you for watching, and I will meet you in another one. Thanks.